Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lyrik, Emon. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back to another entry of July's journal. If you read the title, you know we are doing a slick back tutorial on 4C hair. So let's jump into the video. What I am doing here is just enforcing my parts and showing you guys how I did part my hair, which was just a box parting. I guess that's what they call it. Then I'm going to section that off so that I don't include that into any of the other sections of hair. And before we get started on the actual tutorial, I do want to show you guys what you'll need and the tools that'll make this successful. So I have a wig brush, a hard brush, a new hard brush, an edge brush, and a comb. Then I'm going to take some clips to use to section off my hair. The red one, edge control, and I'm going to take the extreme wet line gel and use that, as well as some got2b spray for holding. I got this combination from TikTok, and I'm not gonna lie, at first I was a little bit skeptical, but we're gonna put it to the test in this video. What I'm doing here is just brushing out my hair just to make sure that everything is detangled, and then I'm gonna use my clips to part out the sections. I ended up making 5 sections, and where I'm gonna hold this section at the top is where my hair is the thickest. So I'm just slowing it down to show you guys that I have 5 sections. So just keep in mind that that part in the middle is my thickest point of my hair. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to do this in slow motion. So what I'm doing again is just taking that section and brushing it out. Then I'm going to take my red one, edge control, apply that all around the section of hair that I'm currently targeting, and making sure that I'm spreading it evenly. And when I'm doing this, I am not touching my scalp, and I'm going to do the exact same thing with the wet line gel. Taking it, applying it to my hands, rubbing it in so that I can spread it evenly throughout the hair section that I'm currently targeting. Then I'm going to go in with my hard brush, and it's a debate of whether the hard brush needs to be dirty and old or new. And I just feel like if I got a new hard brush, I might as well break it in. So that's what you're going to see me do. I'm going to just basically alternate between both hard brushes. And then I'm going to take that spray, and this is what I think I've been missing my entire time doing my slick backs. Like, I don't think it's the products, even though I think these products work really good together. I think it's the spray, the holding spray. I never used holding spray when I did slick backs in the past, and I think that's really what's going to take this slick back to another level for me, just using that holding spray and products that work well together. And I did forget to mention this in the beginning of the video, but you definitely need something to hold the ponytail together. Like, I don't know how I forgot that. And as I finish this section, I'm just going to go ahead and put that into the ponytail. Now, this is, again, the thickest part of my hair. So we had to call in the reinforcement brush. So you can see I'm applying that product and brushing it in half. And what this allows me to do is to get my hair as flat as possible by giving more of the strands more of that product. And I'm using the same method for each section, using the edge control, using the wet line gel, and using the brush to comb those through. And then using the holding spray to basically mold and lock in that gel and edge control. I recommend doing this method on the thickest part of your hair like I did here, and on the sections of your hair that are thicker and bigger. Also, because of the way I parted the front of my hair, I do have to do it like this to keep my part as crispy as possible. However, if you're doing a smaller section or doing a specific type of parting method, then you might not have to separate it as much as I did here. But everybody's hair is different, so make sure you're just doing whatever makes it get slick as quick as possible or as easy as possible. So if that means taking smaller sections, do smaller sections. And by this point, I am exhausted, but the show must go on. So what you see me doing here is basically pulling my hair to see which way I want to lay it to reduce the amount of tension that will be on my hair. I just found out that I'm a fine hair girly, so I try to do as much as possible to reduce tension, because it is no fun when you have tension on your hair. And all I'm doing is splitting that section because it is a bigger one and applying everything that you see me apply in the beginning of the video. And like I said in one of my previous videos, I do have a hair journey video that I want to do for you guys, so make sure you stay on the lookout for that. And as you can see, I'm just reinforcing my part, and it really was at this point when I kind of knew. Do y'all see that slick? Do y'all see that slick? I knew we was on to something. Now, because of how I parted my hair, when I first started slicking the top section of my hair, I did mess up my parting, so I had to go back. So what I'm doing here is just reinforcing where the actual ponytail will be, and I did bring it a little higher than I had it at the beginning of the video. At this point, I'm still not putting my ponytail as tight as it can be, but I am pulling it enough to where it is stretching and it's not reverting, because I'm about to do the top part of my hair, and that also needs to go into that ponytail. And this was after I fixed the parting section, because I had made it too wide, and I think it looks better if the part is thinner or narrower. So what I did was go ahead and use my edge control and just brush and reinforce the pieces that I had to move. And I used the wet line gel as well, and then some holding spray to just keep reinforcing what I already laid down, that basically I unmolded to get my parting section correctly. And I need to take a class on parting, so I'm actually going to fix it one more time in this video, but it's not as bad as how I had to fix it this time. So what I'm doing now is just taking the sections of hair in the front section and just seeing how I want it to lay, using that product to do basically the same thing that I did to the other sections, alternating through the red one, edge control, and the wet line gel and the holding spray. And I'm going to alternate through that as many times as I need to until that of the hair that I'm working on is slicked down. Like, as many times as I need to reapply, I'm going to reapply. And you use your discernment on whether you want it to be the gel, whether you want it to be the edge control. And basically how you do that is, if it's too wet and it's not sticking, you use a little bit of edge control to stick it. And then once you finally get your mold, you use the spray. Now, what I did find during doing this section is that brushing the hair while it's up helped me lay it better than actually brushing the hair down and brushing it while it's down there. Like, brushing the product through, and you'll see me do it a couple of times, brushing the product through while it's up in the air allowed me to get a better mold when I laid it down and keep my parting section as quick and as crisp as possible. And it's all repetitive, so you're going to do that as many times as you need to each section of hair. And I basically just eyed how many sections I actually wanted to use, going back and forth again and again and again with the same products and the same brushing method. And you're honestly gonna do that until you get it how you want to. And I feel like for me, I used to think that if I keep applying product, it's gonna eventually turn my hair white. But today it did not do that, and that also comes with using products that work well together. So shout out to the people on TikTok for these products. And now that I got everything basically laid how I wanted to, I did go back once again, like I said earlier, and reinforce that part, just because I want my part to be as crisp as possible. So I took my edge brush and I basically tried to pull the part apart. And this was another confirming moment for me, because I could barely get the part, I could barely get the hair separated to get the part crispy. And I said, oh, this baby is slicked down. No games played. But it was an easy fix, because all I did was reapply some product. Like I said earlier, reapplying the product did not do anything to my hair, but I just reapplied that product to basically mold it down yet again. And I used my edge brush to continue to just mold. And then I seen somebody say on TikTok that she used the comb to not comb it through, but basically push the product down and push it back. And I ain't gonna lie, I got scared, because every time I didn't try to comb a slick back, it started turning white, and I immediately went back to my brush. But I see what she was going for, but I didn't have time for that today. Lastly, I took my edge brush and I basically combed out where I wanted my edges to be. And then I took the edge control again and I used that to basically get all the extra flyaways that I had going on. And then I took my hair out of the ponytail. Now, this is a very important step. This is the part where you're getting the ponytail to its final form. So make sure you get as many flyaways as you need to, reinforce whatever parts you need to, as you see me doing here, because you're about to put it in the final step of the slick back. This is the ponytail that's supposed to be tight. This is the section that is going to be tight, and I'm actually going to do 2 ponytail slick backs, if that makes sense. So do your best to get it to perfection right in this step. Now you're going to take that ponytail holder and you're going to pull the hair as taut as you can so that you don't have any lumps or bumps in your hair. And when I did it, I actually felt one little small lump. So what I did was slick it and push it down, as you can see me doing in the video. And then I put another ponytail holder to basically pull that extra hair. Then you're gonna tie that hair down for as long as possible. I let mine sit for about an hour, and I really could have went longer, but I ran out of time. So please let it sit as long as possible. But I'm taking this ponytail and I'm just fluffing it out and showing you guys how it looks. But look at the slick back. Look how slick the back it is, like slick to the back. This is the best slick back I've ever done in my life, honestly. So what I did was just take my edge brush and fix those little sections that I needed to fix, lay my edges down, and put that ponytail on. That was the slick back, baby. And I found this ponytail at the beauty supply some years ago, so find whatever ponytail you want to. And of course you gotta do the shake test. This is the final results of the ponytail. It came out so perfect. Like, this slick back method got a friend in me, because do you see how slick my hair is? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next entry of July's journal.